Brought to you by Penguin.
iWar by Tim Higgins. Read by Keith Brown. For Karen. Author's note. This book was made possible by people involved with these companies and government agencies that talked to me, often on the condition that those conversations not be attributed to them directly. Some of the people mentioned by name agreed to be interviewed, some declined. To protect my sources, who risked professional reprisal, I don't generally disclose who I interviewed. This book also relies heavily on reams of internal documents from these companies made public through litigation and hours of legal testimony. In a few instances, direct quotes were recreated from my sources' memories to the best of their recollection. These quotes were heard firsthand by at least one source. Most of the time, though, direct quotes came from documents, such as emails reviewed by me or audio and video recordings. I conducted reporting in Austin, Cupertino, Brussels, New York City, San Francisco, and Washington, D.C. The main characters in this book were offered a chance to comment on details in this narrative. Prologue. 2021. Tim Cook sat between two worlds, and his power over both was being tested. Seated in the back of an Oakland courtroom waiting to face a judge, the 60-year-old man from Alabama who rose to chief executive of Apple did what we all tend to do in such tedious moments: looked at his iPhone. Unlike the rest of us, in that digital world, Cook was the king, ruling over an iPhone empire with 1 billion users, all connected by the software that his company had developed, shipped, policed, and taxed. The real world wasn't the same since the iPhone was revealed 14 years earlier in 2007. Communities were reimagined, commerce evolved. Giants rose on the success of a new computing paradigm. And now, in the spring of 2021, Cook was in the real world of a federal court, having to answer for the power he held in his digital realm. He came prepared to defend against those who wanted to strip away the rules and order, who wanted to tear down the walled garden that, he and his team insisted, kept their world special and that users wanted. As Cook took the stand, wearing a dark gray suit, white shirt, and gray tie, a clear face shield protected him from germs, part of the unusual safeguards of the pandemic era, precautions that included limiting who could be in Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers' courtroom that Friday in May. Because of that limited access, she took the rare step of allowing audio of the proceedings to be broadcast to an army of lawyers, regulators, and rivals listening around the world. They wanted to hear Cook defend Apple's reign over the app economy. With his polite Southern drawl, Cook could, at times, sound both awestruck and personally offended at any suggestion his company could do wrong. The digital world that Apple created with its App Store was special. Apple was making the world better. "I think it's been an economic miracle," Cook told the judge from the witness stand. That miracle had made Cook a billionaire, and Apple the world's most valuable company. With annual sales approaching $400 billion, Apple's output exceeded most nations' GDPs. In 2021, it printed more than $3,000 in profit every second of every day. Yet, this pinnacle had made Apple vulnerable, both to corporate rivals and to governments that increasingly questioned the power the company wielded over its digital empire, and them. A rebellion against the empire had been brewing for a long time, almost from day one when it became clear how powerful the mobile computing world was going to be. But now things had escalated. Here, Cook was on the witness stand to defend Apple over claims that it was a monopolist. He was joined in the courtroom by a top deputy named Phil Schiller, a longtime Apple executive whose life work amounted to the stewardship of the App Store and Apple's reputation. Across the courtroom from Cook and Schiller sat the man who brought the lawsuit that was
Sample complete. Ready to continue?